The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Hey, let's go! Get in here! Get in here right now! Get in here! Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our life! 30 minutes for the rest of our life! That's our plan in the first half. It ain't happening. We get the ball. I promise you one thing. We're going to hit somebody and we're taking down the field for a touchdown. I guarantee you that. Guarantee. Look at me. Let's go. We got 30 minutes. Let's go. For the rest of our lives. For the rest of our lives. Let's go. Let's go. Lock on. Hey. Hey. Lock on. Lock on. Hey. Put your heart on the table. We got it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the final timeout from Military Broadcast Radio. I'm your host, HG, back for another week. Week 1 of the NFL preseason in the books. We got the MLB wild card and WNBA playoff races are both heating up. College football is almost back. Stay tuned. I'm going to do some power rankings for the conferences later in the show. We got our first look at the AP Top 25 poll. We'll take a look at that. I've got more mock drafts coming your way, and time permitting, we may even take another stab at that 82-0 challenge. So, jam-packed show today. Let's just jump right into it, though.
Yeah. And we're doing pretty good. We didn't even do sound check. Woo, woo.
Yeah. I was doing the sound check while having a conversation with you. So, all right. The NFL preseason, we got position battles and practice fights. We had our first full week of NFL preseason football, giving us a first look at some of the exciting rookies, new additions, and players fighting for a roster spot. My Broncos actually opened with a pretty impressive 27-7 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. For a good, we had a good chunk of our starters playing,
Except Bo.
Yeah, Bo, Jalen Waddle, who's dealing with an injury, J.K. Dobbins. It was basically the starting offense, but with minus a few guys. Jared Stidham looked pretty impressive. He threw for 131. Cortland Sutton had 60 receiving yards and an absolutely insane, sick one-handed catch. I'm surprised that there was no flag thrown on that.
Oh, shit. Oh, hey, everybody. Welcome to the stage. Caveman has entered the building.
Whoa, all right.
He is watching on TikTok.
What's up, Caveman? How's it going?
Make sure that you refresh, everybody. Refresh, tap, heart us.
Yeah. Do all that. Send us some gifts too. Those we appreciate, even just the little ones. We appreciate that because all that money always just goes to helping the veteran out, whether it be teaching them classes or sometimes they're just in crisis and we can use that money to get them help and resources that they need to get out of that crisis. So we love all of our TikTok gifters. Cortland Sutton, like I was saying, sick one-handed catch. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's all over social media. The Broncos with their starting unit and a lot of their second team really just controlled the game. Look, don't crown anybody Super Bowl champions because of our preseason.
Yeah, don't start polishing that Lombardi yet.
But that was it was really refreshing to see against a team that should in theory be inferior competition for the Broncos, for you to really be in control with your starting unit out there. Good thing to see. And we saw a lot of great things for the coaches evaluating execution. The players know their assignments, protect the football, communicate, and contribute on special teams.
Well,
that was the important stuff that we were looking for.
HJ, how strong is our schedule this year? Because I know last year it was somewhat kind of a weak, right?
It wasn't the weakest schedule. We were still playing it was a third place scheduled, I think, because we did come in third. But we have a tougher schedule this year. It's a first place schedule.
Well, yeah, because we almost made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. our first 8 weeks, I think we play 6 playoff teams. Here, I got it right here. So the Chiefs, obviously, they weren't a playoff team last year, but you imagine Mahomes will be healthy. That game's going to be in Arrowhead. That's always a tough one. Then we have the Jaguars, Rams, 49ers, Chargers, Seahawks get a bit of a break. And then, I mean, even the Panthers were a playoff team. But our first 6 weeks of the season are incredibly difficult. It does ease up in the middle. And then it's actually a pretty difficult finish to the year. We have a road game against the Raiders. Those division games can always be sketchy. Who knows, like the Raiders could be finding their stride late in the season too, so they could be tough. Then we've got the Bills on Christmas. We got to go to Foxborough to play the Patriots, and we will end it off at home against the Chargers. But the start of our year is a pretty brutal stretch, and then the last 3-4 games are pretty tough. But I'd say the middle of the season are all very winnable games where we could pick up some steam and maybe put a little win streak together before we go into the tougher part of our schedule. So, see some other news that we got going on. We've had some altercations going on in these training camps. I don't know what's been going on at Chiefs camp, but they're just fighting each other, and you're seeing guys like just lay out their teammates in practice. So I'm not sure what's going on in Kansas City. Maybe there's something in the water, but the Chiefs have been going hard. Dallas and New Orleans had multiple altercations yesterday, including a huge brawl that really derailed practice. You had Cleveland had to end the practice early because of excessive fighting. So football, it's an emotional, physical sport, but you got to have toughness, but toughness also really, is remaining disciplined when you're provoked. All right. And a little question for the viewers: how seriously should fans be taking preseason results? And then, should the NFL punish serious practice fights like regular season fights? My 2 cents on that. Preseason results they do matter, in the sense that you can kind of get a good gauge on, how the offensive line looked, how the coaching and play calling was. Because even when you get to like the third and fourth string guys, there's still play calling and coaching can still be a big factor. And then, you see the guys that really that stand out and really put out some good film. Those are guys that that I think you should just keep an eye on and keep in the back of your mind when evaluating talent, who might be a factor for your team. The practice fights, I think that I don't know if the NFL needs to necessarily get involved with that. That should be at the discretion of the teams. Those joint practices are optional, but that's just something that they do a lot. And they happen all the time, but it's not like they're derailing a game or anything. So our takeaways though from the preseason, not about undefeated records, about identifying which players, coaches can be trusted when injuries occur, when things aren't going your way, and just how a team's looking cohesively as a unit, and body language on the sidelines. Another important thing, even when starters aren't playing, how are they responding to the backups performing out there? I think of a real good sign of a healthy team that has a good locker room and a lot of chemistry is when you see a lot of excitement from the first string guys watching players stand out, watching these backups stand out and make some good big plays to potentially secure their spot. And the fun in the preseason games is, you have a lot of guys, are they going to become a millionaire, or are they going to be updating their LinkedIn? That's what a lot of these guys are fighting for in these first few weeks. All right. I'll jump through some preseason scores too and give you guys some takeaways from some of those games. We had Lions and the Bengals in a 16-14 kind of stalemate. My big takeaway from that, the offensive line for the Bengals didn't look too great still. So we'll see about Joe Burrow's health is a big concern for me. We have the Steelers kind of dominated the Packers. Interesting quarterback battle between all three guys. Because, I mean, you have Drew Aller, Mason Rudolph, and Will Howard all played really well. I mean, they helped between the three of them. They only had 6 incompletions. They all three threw for a combined 313 yards, 3 total touchdowns. Aller picked one up on the ground. So, I mean, it'll be interesting because like Rodgers is still going to be the starting quarterback. Seems like that's the strategy. It's like which one of these guys is not going to be on the roster? Because I just doubt that you keep all 3 of them. That'll be a very interesting takeaway there. Some other Friday games. Anthony Richardson got off to a rough start, but he actually put together a pretty nice game. Went 11 for 14, 145 and a touchdown in the 13-13 draw with the Patriots. Cardinals picked up a 27-14 win over the Raiders. A lot of takeaways from this game. No Carson Beck dealing with a rib injury. But Gardner Minshew looked really good too. So Jacoby Brissett came in, was 5 for 5 in his limited reps. Kirk Cousins was 5 of 6. Each of those guys threw for a touchdown, led an opening drive touchdown. Fernando Mendoza, he looked pretty sharp in this. 10 of 16, 97 and a touchdown. I really love it. He was just threading the needle, finding some tight windows there. 2 rookie running backs, Jeremiah Love and Mike Washington, both looked really impressive. And some limited touches in this one. Chargers got a pretty emphatic 27-7 win over the Texans. Davis Mills not looking too sharp. And then Graham Mertz ended up getting injured in this one. We saw our first look at DJ Uiagalelei in the NFL. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. I'll say that. Then Titans 49ers on another game on Friday. DeJon Stribling thought he was a big reach of the draft, but I think I might be wrong about that. He looked really good. One of the best rookie wide receiver performances of the weekend. Some of our Friday action. Quarterback Jalen. Yeah, you heard that right. Jalen, not Jaden. Jalen Daniels of the Buccaneers looked very sharp. 10 for 15, 111 yards. He might be making a roster spot. Expect Braylon Allen. He averaged 4 carries, 44 yards and a touchdown in this one. Expect him to be a healthy part of this Jets offense this year. Bills played their first game in their new stadium. Josh Allen looked pretty sharp, doing some vintage Josh Allen things. DJ Moore looked good in the Bills uniform. Highmark Stadium apparently is constricting or obscuring some views for people, so that'll be an interesting thing to keep an eye on throughout the season. The Browns have a 3-way quarterback battle of absolute booty going on in their building. No one looked all too impressive out of Shador, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel. Everyone turned the ball over. Fumble from Deshaun, interceptions from Shador and Gabriel. Nothing too good out of that quarterback room. No touchdowns from any of them. Casey Concepcion, though, didn't do a whole lot in the passing game. He had 3 catches, 27 yards. He looked quick, though, had a rushing touchdown. Got involved a little bit in the return game, and he looked pretty impressive there. Might have housed one if he didn't trip over his own feet. So that guy's going to be pretty fun to watch. I think he's also, we'll talk about this when we get to mock drafts, but fantasy-wise, the price tag that you can get him for, because he's going super late, is a pretty good price tag. And then, hey, Case Keenum didn't even know this guy was still in the league, but he was
I know, I saw that.
Playing for the Bears, looked sharp, tossing 2 tuds out there for them. Jackson Dart on the Vikings game went to the Blue Medical Tent, so that's got to be a little bit of a cause for concern. for Giants fans. He got absolutely lit up. But Scadaboo back in action looked pretty good. We had Joe Montana Simpson get his first debut for the Rams. I know I might be overreacting a little bit, but man, he was sharp in this one. Was being called the biggest reach of the draft, and it's one preseason game. We won't say anything, but I liked what I saw. I mean, he was just in rhythm the whole game. 21 to 25, 192 touchdowns. I mean, if the Rams keep their offensive line pretty consistent when he's there, he was good at Alabama when the pockets were relatively clean and everything was on schedule. But he didn't do great against unrelenting pressure. So that'll be something we will see from him as if he can develop and just be better about processing the defense with pressure in his face. Man, I don't know if Cayman, you might have seen this, the Jags and Saints game. Some really tough, it was a tough game for the production team. The first quarter, maybe even the first half, the white balance was just all out of whack. That was on the Saints broadcast. I mean, it was like the Jags were wearing white uniforms, just singeing your eyelids. And then you had, on the flip side, on the Jags broadcast, there was the white balance. Was like too gray. So like everything was all dull and the colors were all stunted. We got quarterback battle going on in New Orleans, not for the starting job, but for the backup. And I got to say, Zach Wilson, he might be taking that from Spencer Rattler. He looked really good in this one. I liked what I saw out of Audric Estime as well. Some good things from both teams, really. Joey Jaguar, potential nickname there. I doubt he'll see the field too much, but threw a 43-yard pass. The Jags were really feeding this Jamari Taylor. He had 22 carries in this one. I mean, what I'm taking away from this game, Liam Cohen wants to run the football a lot. 36 rush attempts. And this one, he was really seeing what he had out of a lot of his running backs. Then just some final notes. Guy I had honestly never heard of for the Ravens, Joe Fanu, 22 of 28, 224, touchdown. Did throw an interception as well, but looking like he might be the third guy. We'll see if Tyler Huntley, Pro Bowl quarterback, very well established, but Fano might have got himself onto an NFL roster. And then Cole Payton, not the most impressive passing numbers, but the dual threat ability. He's still just such a fascinating project to me, because he had 45 rushing yards on 3 carries. So I don't know. We'll be interested to see what the new Eagles offensive coordinator, Sean something, I'm blanking on his last name, does with him. But he's just got such great rushing ability. He's very versatile. I mean, he could be kind of like a Taysom Hill type for them if they get creative with him. So something to keep an eye on there. All right, well, that's going to do it for our NFL preseason recap. We're going to move to baseball after the break, where we have a spectacular Tuesday, produced some spectacular defense and historic offense and a 19-run blowout. So stay tuned for that. All that and more coming up on the final timeout here on Military Broadcast Radio.
Well, if I die tomorrow, you will remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you will remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? Always under pressure, now I stare it at the sun. I'll ride these wings to heaven, what I did is what I've done. wipe off my headstone, maybe rake some leaves, place some pretty flowers and get down on your knees. Maybe say we miss you, then come back another week. Never take for granted your time on this earth. Live each day like it's your last. Love the ones you hold dear. Oh, well, if I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? And did I do the right things for my family? And did I do the right things for my family? Well, if I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things in life? If I die tomorrow, you would remember me. And did I do the right things for my family? Always under pressure, now I stare it at the sun. I'll ride these wings to heaven, what I did is what I've done. And if I die tomorrow, and if I die tomorrow, would you come visit me? Wipe off my headstone, maybe rake some leaves, place some pretty flowers, and get down on your knees. Maybe say we miss you, then come back another week. Never take for granted your time on this earth. Live each day like it's your last. Love the ones you hold dear.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final timeout. Your Military Broadcast Radio. Just going over some of the heroic action from preseason. Now we're going to get into some baseball. Wild card races are heating up. We had an action-packed night last night. It was a really good game. It's almost that time of the year. Still a good chunk of the regular season left. We gotta round out August, and then we go through a good chunk of September too. But it's starting to get down to it. You know, we're starting to see who's pulling away, and who's teetering off. So what do we have happening last night? We had Tatis take over. The Cubs got a walk-off, and Milwaukee scored 19 runs. 22, actually. So we'll start with Fernando Tatis because he had one of the best all-around performances this season. Robbed the Mets of a grand slam and hit 2 home runs as the Padres won 5-2. So, you know, preventing 4 runs while adding 2 more with his bat. That's just, I mean, insane value from him right there. What do you guys think? What was more valuable? Was robbing the grand slam or hitting the 2 home runs? I mean, hitting the 2 home runs, it's hard to get 1 home run in the game, so hitting 2 is incredibly impressive. But I think the overall more impactful thing was preventing 4 homers or 4 runs from coming in. Let me know what you guys think. Home runs or the robbing the grand slam? What's more impressive? Cubs earning another walk-off victory over the White Sox. Pete Crow Armstrong hit his 31st home run, and then Alex Bergman delivered the walk-off. And then not too long ago, PCA also had a walk-off home run. I believe it was 2 nights ago, or it might have been last night. So they've been kind of living on those late game heroics. The Cubs have. I think, in fact, it was actually just might have also been against the White Sox. Yeah, it was one of the. In the 10th inning, he got his first career walk-off, PCA did, and then literally the next night, they get another walk-off to take down the White Sox. Man, really, Cubs have been one of the hotter teams in baseball, though. Did come out of a sort of disappointing series against the Cardinals, but they're really right on Milwaukee's tail in terms of the division race. They're not just 4 games back, so the Brewers cannot afford to let off the gas. And not let off the gas, they did. Milwaukee just embarrassed the Mariners 22-0. And what's crazy about this game is it was close for a little bit. I mean, it was a 1-0 ball game heading into the bottom of the 5th inning. And then Milwaukee added 5 home runs. And then in the 6th, they added 5 home runs. Then they added 2 more in the 7th. And then 9 in the 8th. And we didn't even get to the bottom of the 9th because Seattle didn't score 22 runs. And they didn't score any runs. This is a complete complete meltdown out of the Mariners. And I mean, really the cherry on top of the night was Julio Rodriguez catching a pop fly, losing track of the outs, and just throwing the ball into the stands, thinking that he caught the final out and you got one guy, the batter out, but the guys on base all came home and they conceded 2 runs that way. So if you're the Brewers, you love to see that out of your bats. I mean, you forced the team that wanted to conserve their bullpen, so they had a position player come in and pitch in the 9th or pitch in the 8th. That was Rivas. And unsurprisingly, he did not do too hot with a 7 ERA. 9 hits, 9 runs, one batter walked, no strikeouts, gave up a home run. So, I mean, I'll say that the Mariners pitchers credits, they only gave up 4 home runs. So, and the game where you give up 22, it's not like all on the pitching. I mean, it's just the infield outfit or the defense wasn't the best on both the infield and the outfield. So dominant victory there. You had Kristen Yelich hitting a 3-run homer. David Hamilton homered. Jake Bowers added a 2-run shot. And just got too much to be for the Mariners. So it's one of those games where it makes you think, like, does baseball need a mercy rule? But I say nah. Maybe you could ask, like, okay, you hit like 12-0, 15-0. Should you maybe the winning team stop playing aggressive? But it's a professional sport. These guys are getting paid. Everyone's getting paid, so you don't want them to score more runs. You got to stop them. Yeah, we're entering the stretch run. I mean, we're going to really see teams that have bullpen depth, that are playing good defense, and the players' health is looking good. Those are our teams that if you're a bettor, you want to be putting your money on as we head towards the playoffs and who's going to go on a potential deep run. Stars create the highlights, but the season races are often decided by middle relievers, defensive replacements, and the hitting near the bottom of the lineup. Speaking of the wild card and division races, let's take a look at where we stand on some of those. The Red Sox cooled off a little bit. They're 4-6 in their last 10 after that huge winning streak that they went on. In terms of the wild card, though, they're still firmly in it. I mean, they're only 2 games behind the Yankees. The Rays with a 5-game lead for the first place in their division. So I'm leaning towards Tampa Bay taking the East. I do think we're probably going to see probably both the Yankees and the Red Sox take 2 of those wild card spots, and then it'll be between, it's going to be between teams like the Twins, the Guardians, the Rangers. Seattle's got an outside shot. I would probably say the Twins get that final wild card spot. I mean, the White Sox only have a 4-game lead over them. So maybe Minnesota gets hot and Chicago kind of hits a wall and they drop into the wild card there. I do think the White Sox close it out in the absolute putrid AL West. I mean, right now you don't have a single team over 500. I'm not even like whoever wins this. I think it'll be one of their Texas teams. I mean, give me the Astros. I think they just have a little more depth, pitching wise. Some stronger bats overall. But I don't, anything can happen in the pennant chase, but I just don't think we're seeing a team from the AL West go very deep. Maybe they win they beat their wild card, but give me the Astros coming out of the AL West at this moment. Division winners: Astros, White Sox, Rays. We're gonna have probably the Yankees. Give me the Red Sox. Give me the Red Sox as your first wild card. Yankees, and then the Twins. Give me the Twins. That'll be, as of this week, that's that of the AL. Wild card or playoff predictions. Going over to the National League to see who we get. Looking first at the East, Atlanta holding the Braves off for now. Philly only 5.5 games back. Atlanta's been not as dominant as they were to start the year. Their outfield defense has looked very shaky at times. Just their defense in general overall. I will say though, to their credit, when their bats are flying, they are one and hitting at their full power. They are one of the toughest teams to beat. They do still have a really good bullpen. Chris Sale is still one of the best in the business. They made some trades to address those outfield needs. So I do think that they'll be able to close it out and win the East. Looking at the Central, I mean, both the Cubs and Brewers pretty good in their last 10 games. They're both 6-4. They're both looking really strong here. I think Milwaukee's just got a little more depth to close it out and win this. It's going to be really close. It is going to be, this I think will be the closest division race of the entire final stretch here. So this is the one I'm keeping the closest eye on. It wouldn't entirely shock me with all the momentum Chicago's got if they were able to take out from Milwaukee, but it's been more of a late surge from them. So I just wonder, will they cool off? That'll be, can they keep this going? I like Milwaukee. I think is just a deeper team. It was why they've been able to sustain and be so good for all season. but this is going to be a really close race. I think St. Louis at 65 and 62, they're out of probably winning the division, so they're looking at a wild card spot here. Their best chance, I mean, they need either the Padres to really drop a lot of games, same with either the Phillies, but I think it's them and the Diamondbacks are going to be really competing heavy for that last spot, which kind of brings me down to the AL West here. The Dodgers have 8-game lead. I just don't think anybody's good enough to catch them. They're going to win the West, I would imagine. The Padres and Phillies, I think, will really be battling for, will probably be that second wild card spot. Whoever doesn't make it out of the Central is going to probably have that first wild card spot. They're going to have the best record there. The drop National League predictions. I'll take the Braves out of the East. Well, for seeding, we'll go Brewers 1, Dodgers 2, Braves 3. Cubs are going to be 4. Giving the Phillies as the 5. And Padres. Probably the Padres as the 6, actually. I don't know if the Diamondbacks or Cardinals can make it. That'll be close. This is going to be really close between all 3 of those teams. Let me know what you guys think. Who's going to come out of these wild card and division races? What your seeding on the postseason is going to look like. We're going to go ahead and hit our next break. Coming up after that, we've got the WNBA playoff field taking shape. Kelsey Mitchell just delivered another dominant performance. And we've just seen it. We're seeing some real hooping going on here. So stay tuned. We got all that and more coming up here on the final timeout.
We're living the American dream. I'm the American dream. Go to school, go to work, Sunday mornings choose a church, attend our games, our plays, PTAs. Drive our cars, flying planes, take the buses, take the trains, walk the beach, ski the slopes, living out our dreams and hopes. We're living, yes, we're living the American dream. We're the American dream. Thank you, soldier, sailor, airman, guardsman, and marine. Thank you all for fighting for our freedom and our dreams, protecting our Constitution, guarding our homes and towns, defending our shores, seas and skies, and putting boots on the ground. Some gave all for me and you. We served the red, white, and blue, protecting the American dream. on a place, many creeds and one big race. Staking my claim to the Creator. We have to find a way for each to still be different but live in peace. Till then, we must protect ourselves, 'cause we're living, yes, we're living the American dream. I'm the American dream. We're the American dream.
Welcome to Military Broadcast Radio. Every view, every listener, and every share helps our mission. Every donation helps keep military broadcast on the air. Every donation makes a difference. Thank you for your support. mbradio.us.
We're back at it. The final timeout on Military Broadcast Radio. It's a good time today, folks. Having a good time, enjoying the show. I hope everyone's enjoying the show. Just going to jump into it, get right into it. WNBA playoff race. Minnesota, Las Vegas, and now Golden State have officially secured playoff berths. Minnesota's just been the league's most consistent team with a breakout rookie star in Olivia Miles. Las Vegas, they possess that championship experience, and they have the best player in the world in Asia Wilson. And Golden State reaching the playoffs in just their second season. It's a young, hungry roster. They play absolutely smothering defense. They've been hands down the best defensive unit in the team. They live by the mantra, no easy buckets. We have Indiana last night defeated Toronto 102-95 and improved to 12-4. They're close to securing a playoff spot as well. Kelsey Mitchell scored 16 points in the first quarter and finished with 29 despite sitting out the entire fourth. Mitchell and Caitlin Clark really have become one of the most exciting backcourt duos to watch in the whole WNBA. They kind of been a close to record-setting backcourt combination. They just create a very difficult choice for opposing defenses. Caitlin, just with her elite shooting abilities, is so lethal out from three. And I mean, Kelsey Mitchell can also knock down threes. And then she is just she's so good at scoring under the rim though too. It's just tough to leave one guard one-on-one because the other receives space. If you send additional help to one guard, the other receives space. I mean, there's just a lot of conundrums there. Question for everyone in the calendar while we go over a couple more things on the WNBA side. Which team would you trust most in a playoff series? You've got Minnesota's consistency, Las Vegas's experience, Indiana's explosive backcourt, and I'm talking about explosive backcourt duos. Throw the Atlanta Dream in there as well, or Golden State's fearless young roster and smothering defense. Now, speaking of the Dream and exciting backcourt duos, this was a fantastic game that I wanted to flash back to. One that went to overtime between the Dream and the Fever. And it was just, great guard play. All on display. Whether you had, Kaylin had scored 26 points with 9 assists. One thing she's got to work, she's got to get them turnover numbers down. That's my biggest concern with the Fever is Caitlin is a phenomenal playmaker. She's a phenomenal playmaker, but the turnovers have really been a problem this season. That's something that can really kill your momentum in the postseason. But it's 26 points, 9 assists. Really good. You had Kelsey Mitchell. She scored 20 in this one. This game, though, we're talking about the explosive backcourts, but you can't forget about the woman that carried the Fever to the semifinals last year, despite all their injuries. Aaliyah Boston, just showing why she was a number one pick all those years ago. She had 18 points, 14 rebounds, 4 assists, but it was her defensive impact. 5 steals and 3 blocked shots. I mean, that is 8 possessions that she stopped on her own. That's insane defensive impact. And most of her rebounds were defensive rebounds as well. So just cannot be understated, that defensive impact there. But I talk about the explosive front court or backcourt duo of the Fever. Jordan Canada was actually sick, did not play in this game. And despite that, that's why you have Ryan Howard on roster. Usually runs the offense off the bench, but she came in here, delivered 17 points in 43 minutes, had 5 assists as well, stealing the block. Alicia Gray, the other part of that really explosive backcourt duo of the Dream, dropped 32 points, was with 7 rebounds and 5 assists as well. 32, 7, and 5 game. Not too shabby. And then I know a lot of people like to clown on her, and she's not the best shooter, but Angel Reese, her impact for this team that really struggled, just having a presence in the post last year, and getting second chance points, her rebounding ability has been huge for this team. And there's a big reason why they will likely be they could have a chance at being a top 4 seed come playoff time. But yeah, this is a fantastic back and forth game. Just saw really great defense from Indiana, which is in the late stages, which was a good sign if you're a Fever fan. That clutch defense was pretty good. Held the Dream to 9 points and 10 points in the fourth quarter and then overtime. So really impressive. Like to see that. Taking a look at the standings, how the playoff race is shaping up. The Fever did actually jump the Aces in the standings just because they have 1 less loss, but the wins are the same. So I think Indiana will probably be the next team we see clinch a playoff berth. Let's see, their next game coming up here is going to be tomorrow night against the Wings. That'll be the 2 former number 1 overall picks going up against each other. Paige Beckers, who in year 2 has really helped propel this Dallas Wings team into a potential playoff team here. It's starting to pull away. The teams that aren't in the race right now are really going to need to go and get hot and hope that somebody hits a losing streak. Currently, the next closest team to the 8th spot is the Portland Fire. They're about 5 games out of the playoff contention. Dallas and Washington both with 20 wins on the season. I wouldn't be too shocked if what we have right now, the 1 through 8, holds up with maybe just some leapfrogging here or there. I do think Vegas will probably jump back up into the 3, potentially the 2 spot. The Warriors, the Valkyries rather, got to give them major credit with 25-9. What they've done in year 2, they've been really good. They just give up. They're just so tough on defense. They just give up nothing easy. It's not like an overly explosive team. Their leading scorer per game is Gabby Williams with her 15 a game. They just take their shots when they're there, and they use their defense to create offense and a lot of wins. And they've only really lost 2 games in this month. So they're going to be a problem. My only concern for them is, who's going to be the primary ball handler and who's going to run the offense and how their half court offense is going to look in the playoffs. But the way they play defense, it's a recipe to go deep. I'll just say the inexperience and sometimes the slowness and difficulties they have in the half court might come back to bite them. But we'll see if they get that locked in and ironed out in the coming weeks here. So yeah, who do we think is gonna surprise us and clinch the next spot? And then let me know, who are we liking for MVP? I mean, and Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I think MVP is going to be. I think Asia's securing her 5th. It's just Kelsey Mitchell is the only player I could see maybe with a shot to catch her, but she's not. I don't think she really does enough in terms of rebounding and then the defensive impact that Asia also has. Witnessing, I mean, I don't think we can make a case she's the greatest player to play the game. I mean, she's looking at MVP number 5, could potentially win DPOY number 4, potential for another championship. This would be her 4th, 5th. I can't remember how many she has. Another season. I mean, at 30 years old, she hasn't lost a step at all. She's averaging 26, 10, and 3, pulling in about 1.5 steals per game and blocking about 2 shots per game. I don't know. There's just really no one else that really has the overall around impact that she does. And then Olivia Miles should run away with Rookie of the Year. I mean, she has just immediately slid into that starting point guard role for the Lynx, and they've been so much more dominant for that because that was a lot of pressure to put on her, and as a rookie, to be the primary ball handler, to run the half court offense, and she hasn't shied away at that at all. She's a very creative scorer. Some of their bigs, Collier, McBride, they just run that pick and roll with her so well. Not McBride, but they just run the pick and roll with her so well. That's why they've been the best team in the W, and why they'll probably be the first team to hit 30 wins. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games, 19-2 in conference. Surprisingly, even better on the road. The best offense in the league, second best behind the Fever, but the Fever have 2 of the most explosive scorers in the NBA, WNBA. They have 2 of the top 5 scorers per game. So, all right, gonna do a little bit of a shorter coverage there. Go ahead and hit our next break, because when we come back, I've got a little slideshow for everybody. Actually, we're gonna go over some conference power rankings for the upcoming college football season. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Final Timeout here on Military Broadcast Radio.
In the day when everything that was made was brought to life by American soul. Promises kept and differences made to keep alive a dying trade, 'cause we believed hard work made it so. Sworn to the black to keep safe our way of life and how we're raised. won, battles were fought, and wrongs were done, but we stand on the right side of our hearts. And though things look bleak, we'll never run. We've all stood fast to face the gun. Our lives are pledged to prevent tyranny start. We are guarded in the back, and we're never looking back. You may never like what we do, or all the ways we make it through. We're not gonna change, and you don't have to stay. Welcome to American Made. Fourscore and a long time ago, our forefathers created this nation to keep us all free. And that's how we like it. That's how we're gonna keep it. If you wanna be here, feel free. But don't ask me to change for you. That's not how it works here. 'Cause we're American made. We are guarded in the back, and we're never looking back. You may never like what we do, or all the ways we make it through. We're not gonna change, and you don't have to stay. Welcome to American Made. We're not gonna change, and you don't have to stay. Welcome to American.
Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. They didn't give me my theme music. That was messed up.
Sorry, dude.
But we were watching. You're watching the final timeout here on Military Broadcast Radio. A good show today, and I've got a little treat for everyone. I made a little slideshow just to help visualize this. But we're doing some conference power rankings, just to see what we've got coming up for this upcoming college football season. Let me adjust this just a little bit better so we can get everything all nice and in there. Perfect. All right, here we go. So some conference power rankings. I'm going to go ahead and rank from weakest to strongest college football, FBS only, college football conference. And then I'm going to give you not record predictions, but just where I think the final standings are going to go, how many potential playoff or bowl game teams we've got in each conference. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to go with the MAC at the bottom. Look, don't get me wrong. I love a little bit of action on a Tuesday night, Wednesday night, whatever it might be. There's a lot of pride in these MAC schools here, but overall, I just don't think they're going to impact the overall playoff or bowl game landscape too much. I expect Western Michigan to be the best team in that conference again. I wouldn't be surprised if Toledo is good. They'll probably hit a bowl game. Ohio University, they usually have a solid program there. They had a solid recruiting class, got some decent transfers in there as well. No one just really had like an incredibly explosive or groundbreaking recruiting or transfer class this year. So overall, I don't think we're going to see it's going to be too impactful. Some other teams, I could wouldn't be surprised if Akron maybe sneaks in there as like a bowl game sub. I could have like Miami of Ohio in there. Um, Bowling Green is a team that I wouldn't be surprised if they do better than I'm projecting them. I mean, 7th in the conference isn't terrible, but they did have a really strong recruiting class. They just didn't do a whole lot with the transfer portal. One of the bottom teams in their conference in terms of total transfer portal things. Don't have a ton of faith in UMass. I mean, you might be able to flip them in Kent State. I feel like Eastern Michigan is going to be down here. We've got Ball and Sac State. Newcomer to the FBS, Sac State. I think they'll do all right, but of the new coming teams to the FBS, I don't think their transition is going to go as well. We've got Buffalo, Bowling Green in there. The MAC, it's always fun to watch. You get some random MAC game on like a Tuesday, Wednesday night. Like there's some chaos, there's some drama there. Action's always a good time, but I don't think we'll be seeing too many teams going bowling this year from there. The next conference I got is the Conference USA. Again, I don't really see a playoff team coming out of here, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are a few teams that make a bowl game. I got some that are kind of like a fringe bowl game territory as well. I do think Jacksonville State's going to probably win this again. Liberty really shot up. They even received a vote to be in the top 25, which I thought was a little much. I mean, they had a very good transfer portal. They got 29 total commits. They had some SEC guys and like ACC. I mean, there's some power conference guys, come over to them. Jude Foster, linebacker interior lineman from Ole Miss. Brought in Isaiah Guy, who had a good season in the secondary at South Florida. Deshaun Purdy from Wake Forest. Stole Georgia's long snapper. Got a couple of three-star linemen from North Carolina State. Jalen Henderson from West Virginia, the quarterback from West Virginia, transferred over here. So I expect them to probably be the best team here, one of the best teams. I'm leaning more towards Jacksonville State finishing it off, but Liberty could definitely surprise you and win that. They might be a flip there. I think whoever wins this, it's very on the fringe of a playoff team. We do have 2 group of 6 teams that will make the playoffs. They are guaranteed a spot there. I expect Kennesaw State. Again, they should be pretty good this year. Delaware, I expect that they were, one of their first seasons in the FBS, they were pretty good. 7-6. I expect them to maybe win 1 to 2 more games, make a bowl game as well. Western Kentucky had a very good recruiting class. They were actually 2nd in the conference. Jacksonville State, though, 30 total commits, all 3 stars as well in the recruiting. So that's why I got them up there. Yeah, Western Kentucky should make a bowl game as well. And then, I've got Missouri State, Sam Houston, kind of on the fringes of potentially making a bowl game there. I think they'll be right around that like 5 to 7 wins zone. And we'll see if they make it. And then, FIU, New Mexico State, Middle Tennessee, kind of expect them to all be in that like 3 to 5 win range. So just kind of an underwhelming conference in terms of the overall impact on the postseason landscape. All right, the Mountain West, they're up here because they do have one potential playoff team, but I think as a conference, the Mountain West got a whole lot weaker. They lost arguably their best two teams, two of their most dominant teams that just have a really good, that were really good for them last year, and that really would have, if they were still in the conference, bumped them up in terms of the power rankings. I've got UNLV. They had, the best transfer portal and the best recruiting class in the entire Mountain West. Brought in, like some of the names on the transfer portal that might jump out. They brought in Mark Ianker, if I'm saying that right. Jackson Arnold departed from Auburn to come play quarterback here. Avery Helm left TCU. You got defensive lineman Herb Gray from Tennessee. Troy Stello left Kentucky to come play here. They brought in, they still got him from Middle Tennessee as well. Taz Riddicks left Oregon State to come here. So, they brought in a number of good 3-star transfers. They had a very strong recruiting class, 28 commits overall. So, again, they've got the depth. They were one of the competing for the Mountain West title last year as well. I do think they will win this. And they're a potential playoff hopeful if they put together a good season. But I'm talking about they've got to be maybe one loss and to have the other group of two team and maybe what's considered a stronger conference have 2 losses. I think so. If UNLV, which I think it's possible, they could go 11-1 in the regular season. In fact, we'll take a look at their schedule and see. But if they do that, I do think they can go and become one of those group of 6 teams that makes it, one of the 2 group of 6 teams. A little bit of a tough stretch to open the year. They've got what should be a good Memphis team. They've got to go on the road to play Hawaii and at North Texas, at Akron. So they have 3 road games to start the year. Then they got a bit of a home stretch against California and North Dakota State, newcomer to the FBS. They have to go at Air Force, who should be a lot better this year. Then the final stretch of their season, though, against Northern Illinois, Wyoming, New Mexico State, San Jose State, Nevada. Not impossible for them to come out of that and only lose 1 game. I think Hawaii will be the toughest one. You see, I've got them, the Rainbow Warriors, as the second place team. I think they did a lot of good stuff to retain some of their talents. They had a top 5 in conference transfer portal class. Brought in, didn't do a whole lot in the recruit, but they didn't have a ton of players leaving, so they didn't need to do a ton of recruiting. Brought in a 3-star quarterback he didn't really see the field, but Bjorn Jorgensen from Virginia. Running back Devin Rice from K-State. Some exciting prospects there. So I think Hawaii could have, if they'd have to do pretty much the same thing as what UNLV did, and only lose 1 game, which will be tough. But I expect them to be competing for the Mountain West. And then I got North Dakota State's a team that I think could really was FBS ready a while ago. I think, this is a bit of a weaker Mountain West than in years past. So I think they're primed to be one of the top dogs in here.
Well, we got a text from 6207. Tyson expects to miss 2 months when Kamara gets hurt again.
Oh, you talking about the Jordan Tyson?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, the Saints have had some unfortunate injury luck. Luckily for New Orleans, you have Travis Etienne there who can undoubtedly fill in as the RB1. It'll be unfortunate they're going to be missing Tyson, though. That's going to be tough to get him integrated into the offense in the midway point of the season, and then to get Kamara back in there. Bit unfortunate with the injury bug. Okay. Well, those are the Mountain West rankings. Like I said, A couple teams that I could see making a bowl game. I'm actually a little on the fence about Wyoming. I might say that they're a fringe bowl team. Air Force should be good again. I don't expect them to struggle as much as they did. So that's where we got the Mountain West rankings. Our next conference, the Sun Belt here, it's kind of small, but I see there's 3 potential playoff teams if one of them has a dominant enough season in the conference. And again, they gotta have like one loss is probably the cutoff where they go like undefeated. JMU made the playoff last year. Actually, was fairly competitive with Oregon. I mean, they did score 34. They just couldn't stop anything. Couldn't stop. They're just wet tissue paper on defense, but did look serviceable in the postseason. So I think they're a potential playoff hopeful. I know you see App State on there, and you might think, "Oh, okay, has he lost his mind?" But App State had the best recruiting class in the conference, the best scored recruiting class, and they were near the top. They were second best in terms of transfer portal. So I just think they had a strong portal and a strong recruiting season. They poached the QB from Kennesaw State, brought in the defensive lineman from what was a very dominant defensive front in Oklahoma, and Ricky Lahoyo. A lot of just some exciting 3-star prospects. But yeah, they had a very strong recruiting and transfer portal class. So I expect them to be a lot better. JMU is still the top dog. I mean, they absolutely killed it in terms of the transfer portal. They just didn't have the strongest recruiting class compared to some of the other teams in their conference. So give me App State to potentially take down JMU. Arkansas State's going to be one of those fringe, maybe playoff teams that they put it all together. Again, they had a very strong recruiting and transfer portal class as well. I think they just did a good job of bringing in new talent overall as well. Old Dominion didn't lose too much talent-wise, so they didn't need to do too much in terms of recruiting and transferring. So I expect them to still be fairly good in here. Coastal Carolina, Troy, all teams I think could be bowl game hopeful. And then South Alabama is kind of where I draw it. This will be an interesting conference. I do kind of expect like 2 to 3 teams to really jump out and be dominant. A lot of these other teams I'm putting in like a 4 to 8 win window here. Like the teams like 8 and down are like a 4 to 6 win window. 7 through 4, I've got those could be potential 7 to 9 win teams. Is where I'm seeing all of their kind of totals, and then 3 up, 9, 10, maybe 11 games. I don't think anybody goes undefeated, but I wouldn't be surprised if one of these teams just really dominates through the postseason. All right, now we're coming to the new Pac-12, and I've got 2 potential playoff teams in here. So Boise State, San Diego State, I both think are absolutely playoff hopefuls. San Diego State had a really dominant defense last year. Fairly good recruiting class as well. Boise was just one of the, they won the Mountain West last year. I think they'll be the top team. I mean, they just have a very healthy program there. Didn't lose a ton either. I think they've got a good amount of returning players. Should be the same quarterback there as well, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, Boise's going to be bringing back a lot of their talents. I think they'll win this. It's going to be tough between them and San Diego State. Those teams I've really got a lot of. I've got high hopes for Washington State, though, too. I think They got a lot better, brought in a new head coach. They had a fairly good transfer portal as well. Brought in some really exciting talents. I really love, they brought in on the offensive line, probably going to butcher this, but Kalalo Teaga from Utah. A big fan of that signing. Daniel Blood, sick name, dope name, out of Missouri, to add some speed to the wide receiver room. Caden Pinnock, who came from, I think that's Alcorn State. So FCS, but 3-star prospect. He's got some experience at that level. So he's bringing some experience to the room. DJ Warner, SMU, could be very disruptive for him off the edge. So a lot to be hopeful there for Washington State, for the Cougars. I've got Fresno, and I've been going back and forth on where I want to put Fresno. They may honestly slide back to 6, and then I'd move Oregon State and CSU up if I could. Again, CSU had a really strong recruiting and transfer portal. They were the top. They had the most commits through the transfer portal and the entire Pac-12. So they built a strong program in there. Darrell Robinson from Auburn. They got a lot of Huskies. The Huskies were good. Kason Farrar, quarterback. Nadir Tirich, tight end, and Diego Robinson, offensive tackle, as well as Oliver Lundenberg. Terrence Smith. I think they actually hired, I'm blanking on his name, but they did hire, what's his name? The UConn's head coach. So I think that's a lot of his players followed him over there. Which is a good thing for the Rams. I mean, I'm just not super. I don't want to get my hopes up with them too much. They haven't been the. Yeah. So it was Jim Moore. That was his name. Came over from UConn and brought a lot of his guys with him. I mean, Jackson Harper, Torian Johnson. So I want to see it first, but I think I'd move CSU up to 5, Oregon State up to 4. Flip Fresno back to 6. All those teams still bowl game hopefuls. Utah State and Texas I'd leave out of it, but new Pac-12. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited and looking forward to seeing what the new Pac-12 looks like. All right, and then the American is our top group of 6 conference. There's definitely going to be at least one playoff team out of here. The American, I'm very confident we're going to see one playoff team. I'm going to all but guarantee it. I think it's going to be South Florida. They had 44 players transferred into their school, so they brought in a lot of talent. Some of the guys that jump out, they got a guy from the Navy, Jalen Acevedo, offensive lineman. They brought in corner from BYU and Tavion Beasley. This is where I think they'll be exciting. Michael Van Buren Jr. transferred from LSU. Didn't want to wait a year behind Sam Levitt, so he comes here. He wants a chance to play. Showed some good things when Garrett Nussmeier was hurt. I mean, it was just kind of like a tough situation for him to be coming in late in the year against, some SEC teams fighting for a playoff position and everything like that. Sonny Redwood, Harrison Nasaga. I mean, they pulled in a ton of talent off the transfer portal. Bryson Rogers out of Ohio State. I mean, they were snagging. I mean, they were snagging guys from Division III, guys that are tired of trying to wait behind on the depth chart. They only give themselves a chance to play. So, yeah, a really strong transfer portal. I mean, 44 commits is huge. But the team I got behind them, Memphis, another playoff hopeful, they had 52 commits as well. Looking at Alante Brown, an exciting prospect from Michigan State. You've got Manny Covey came over from Tennessee. Another exciting receiver in Tychon Chapman. Safety Amir Foster. Yeah, I mean, 52 commits is insane. I think it's going to absolutely be between one of those two to win the American. They're just both really good. Memphis had a very strong recruiting class as well. Tulane, though, who's my number 3 team, the best recruiting class in the American, 20 commits, the highest overall scored class based on just the ratings and everything. You know what? Maybe I'm biased because I work here at Military Broadcast Radio, but I'm going to give Navy the nod as a playoff hopeful. They just do, I mean, they do such a good, obviously they don't really have the transfer things there, but they just are really well coached, very disciplined team. I think they could be, again, a 12-win team, so maybe they potentially are in play for the American Conference. Fringe, playoff hopeful fringe, though. I'll keep my expectations tempered, but they're Army and Navy, I think, are both absolutely making a bowl game. I know they had Army had a number of players leave. My shout out Chicken Little, former infantryman, did the show with me for a while. To tell me they have 21 players leave, but they extended their head coach Jeff Munkin. So the system works. I think they'll be just as imposing. They should be pretty good. North Texas lost a lot of talent, lost their head coach. He's off to Oklahoma State. Lost what's his face, Drew Messmaker. Yeah. We're gonna move on though to our next one, the Independents here. They're kind of just an honorable mention before we get into the power conferences. Because Notre Dame will go to a bowl game if they don't opt out of it. I'm jumping the gun here. We'll go to the bowl game if they don't opt out of it. They're also probably going to be a playoff team because they threw a fit. If they win enough games, they're going to be in the playoffs. We'll know what your guys think because let me tell you what Notre Dame's schedule is. Is it difficult enough for them to deserve to be in a bowl game? Because they really didn't throw too many tough games on here. Wisconsin, I think, will be good. You've got that's their opener. Then they go Rice, Michigan State, Purdue. There are going to be some bottom feeders in the conference. North Carolina, I don't think is going to be too difficult. Stanford, I know there's like a history there. They're not even playing USC. They're not doing that rivalry game. BYU, they're going to Provolone, so that'll be their biggest test of the season. BYU is going to be a very good team. Then they play Navy, Miami, so that's going to be their toughest stretch here. The Miami game, that'll be a very tough test, but that's going to be in South Bend, so that'll be a little more favorable for them. But Miami will be a challenge. You got Boston College, SMU, and then Syracuse ended off. Realistically, if they come away 2 losses, because maybe they lose to BYU, maybe they lose to Miami, I think that's all the grace that we can afford them. They better win the rest of those games. I know SMU's not going to be a pushover. That'll be somewhat of a challenging game for them. But the rest of that schedule it doesn't really move me, you know. So we'll see. And then UConn, I expect to be pretty good as well, and make a bowl game. I could see UConn again. Sure, they lost their coach, they lost a lot of players, but their schedule's nothing like they didn't really schedule anything too daunting. Air Force could be a challenge for them. They got to play Syracuse. I think Syracuse would be too crazy. James Madison might be the most difficult game on the schedule, to be honest. Maybe Maryland, throw them in there. That could be a tough one. So it's not impossible though for them to win like 7 to 9 games. All right, well, now let's get into our power conferences, and we're going to go with the ACC first. I've got Miami as who I think is going to be the playoff team out of here. Had a great recruiting class, 1 5-star recruit, 15 4-stars joining the program. Jackson Cantwell, 5-star offensive lineman, likely going to be playing right away, making an immediate impact. A couple of 4-star wide receivers that'll be Mion Paris and Samoria. I'm going to butcher that name. Samorian Wingo. 4-star edge player in the Ashari Charles. Yeah, I mean, just a very, very good recruiting class. And then transfer portal, I mean, they got one of the biggest names in the transfer portal, bringing in Darian Mensah from Duke, one of the most sought-off quarterbacks as well. Keanu Davis out of Nebraska. He's joining them. They stole Jamal Merriweather from Georgia, jumping over here. And they brought in one of Mensah's favorite targets, in Cooper Bacarte, all over from Duke. Yeah, they had the top-ranked transfer class and top-ranked recruiting class for every team in the ACC. And they were a top 5 transfer class in the entire country. The recruiting class, I believe, was also top 10. Yeah, they're the 7th best recruiting class. I mean, the U is back. They're going to be good. I think they'll win the ACC this year. This was a tough one for me to predict. The ACC was very tough to predict. Louisville had a really good transfer portal as well. They brought in 34 commits. Some of the ones that really jumped out at me, stole from an in-conference rival, LaJuan McCoy, wide receiver there. Benjamin Perry, Jacob Smith, a couple of defensive players. Guy that hasn't really seen the field, but he's a 4-star quarterback prospect in Lincoln Kinesholz. Didn't want to wait another year, as Julian Sand was going to be playing again at Ohio State rather. So coming over here to potentially take the reins at Louisville. I see them being very good as well. I think Clemson kind of comes back. They're a fringe playoff team if they maybe get their hat, just because of the history. I don't think Dabo Sweeney team's going to miss a bowl game another year in a row. I think if they make the ACC championship and they're maybe a 2-3 loss team, they could be a fringe playoff team, playoff hopeful there. I think Louisville would have to win the ACC to get the playoff nod, but I'm not leaving that out. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility. I got the Hokies out here at 4. I'm excited to see what they do with James Franklin. I think that there's a lot of energy in that building. They had a solid recruiting class. Decent transfer portal. I mean, they got one of the better players leaving Duke and Quishon Brown. Kenny Wosley left Penn State. I mean, they brought a number of Penn State guys actually transferred over there. So they just brought in a ton of Penn State talent. Yeah, Michael Troutman, he's following his coach. Let's see, we got him. Malachi Williams, Cortez Harris, couple of edge players. Mentioned Wosley, Matt Henderson, Danielle Jennings are following him over there. Ethan Grunkmeyer could potentially. We saw some good things out of him after Aller got hurt and he came in. So potential. Excited to see what he can do with a full season under his belt. But yeah, I mean, he brought a lot of his guys from Penn State with him there. So I think the Hokies will be pretty good. Maybe we might see them competing for the ACC championship. The ACC is going to be chaotic. We're going to see a lot of different teams. I expect Florida State to be pretty good at SMU in the top 25. We had, I don't know. Georgia Tech, I think, could still make it. There are the rankings for that there. I'm getting a little pressed on time, so we're going to keep going. BYU is who I got winning the Big 12. They're going to be the playoff team. They kept their coach. The Mormon church got involved. They said, no, we want you staying here. The CEO of Crumble Cookie was getting involved. So kept a lot of the talent too. They didn't have too many guys leave. Wasn't the most insane recruiting class. Transfer class. They have a pretty good recruiting class. I think they're like the second best in the conference. Yeah, just behind Texas Tech. So I got them winning it. And then I've got the Houston Cougars. Actually, I think will give them a run for their money. I love what they've done this season. I expect them to be very competitive in the Big 12. And then Oklahoma State bringing in Messmaker. They brought in one of his top targets in the transfer portal as well, the new head coach. I think we'll see a Cowboy resurgence. Texas Tech is still going to be good, but with all the Brendan Swordsby drama and now him being banned, there's a little, they're going to be having to move on to a different quarterback. So I think it'll be tough for them to be in contention for the Big 12. Utah, I expect to be good again. Not a lot of hope for my Buffs. I think both the Arizona teams, bowl game hope potential there. Iowa, Kansas State, Baylor. That says UCT. That should be UCF at the bottom of the conference there. All right, then I've got the SEC at number 2 in the power rankings here. I think Texas is absolutely the team to beat in this conference. The hype, I think, is warranted this year. Arch Manning is the potential number 1 overall pick. All the talent is there for this team. They're going to be sick on defense again. And I think we saw down the stretch of the season, they just dropped some dumb games early. They didn't play as well. Looked not as dominant against some inferior competition. But we saw down the stretch, the dual threat ability of Arch Manning, the defense and special teams were playing on that next level. The offense was really clicking. I think we saw what Texas could truly be, and it looked like a playoff championship potential team that just missed out because they dropped a dumb game against Florida early in the year. And quite frankly, you should have beat that Florida team, and they didn't. But I think they'll be one of the top seeds. They'll be a playoff team for sure. I think they'll win the SEC championship. I expect Georgia to be pretty good, probably make the playoff as well. Kirby Smart just always fills in, finds talent, gets the best out of his players. I don't expect anything different there. I'm going with LSU as the number 3 team. I think they will make the playoffs. They come in 3rd. I don't think they're going to quite take down. It'll be tough. I don't know if they'll take down Georgia or Texas, but yeah, I like the Princewell. I'm not even going to attempt his last name, but he followed his coach. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Followed his coach over from from Ole Miss to LSU. They won the top sought after transfer portal prospect, which was Sam Levitt. He's going to be playing 5-star QB. He's going to be the QB there for Lane Kiffin. It's kind of playoff or bust for this team. I mean, so maybe the pressure will be a little bit too much for them, but I mean, there was all that drama with the departure. People are impatient in Death Valley. They want to see another playoff team. I got Bama, fringe playoff team. We'll see. I mean, the SEC does kind of get favored when it comes to picking playoff teams, and I do think they'll definitely make a bowl game. Ole Miss lost some talent, but I still expect them to be pretty good. Maybe them in Oklahoma you could flip. I don't have a lot of high hopes for Texas Tech. They really flamed out. They didn't have the toughest schedule last year, honestly, and I think their schedule this year is a lot tougher, but they should still be up there. I might flip them with Missouri. I wouldn't be surprised if Missouri flips them. They were a pleasant surprise to see in the top 25. And you've got Tennessee, Auburn, Florida, Mississippi State, all teams that could potentially make a bowl game there. But my top conference is the Big Ten. Indiana, I think, is going to be a playoff team again. They brought in Josh Hoover and the transfer portal. Kirk Cignetti didn't make a ton of big splashes in the transfer portal, but that's not really what he does. It's the culture and the energy around that place. He just gets the best out of his guys. So I trust the system a lot when it comes to college football. When you've got a good system, you're going to be a good team. I trust the Cignetti system. It's done nothing but work. So, and then I got Oregon actually as the runner-ups in the Big Ten. I went back and forth on them in Ohio State. I wouldn't be at all surprised if that flips. Both teams are bringing back their quarterback from last year. Jeremiah Love, still the best receiver in college football, will be playing for his draft stock. Dante Moore, though, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he plays himself into potential first overall pick territory. It's going to be between him or Arch Manning. Those guys are going to be 1 and 2 next year to a quarterback-needy team. And I could see Oregon having the top offense in the country. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think with another year under his belt, Dante Moore, already one of the better pocket processors out there. Could see them coming up. UFC, then I got UCS, man. They had a phenomenal recruiting class and transfer portal. USC actually the number 1 recruiting class in the nation. And they were a bit further down in terms of transfer portal, but they just brought in so much talent. I think they'll be a dangerous team. And then I've got Penn State just behind them. Again, wouldn't be totally shocked if those flip-flop in the standings, but I'm pretty confident that's how the Big Ten is going to go. And I think the Big Ten will be good enough to have 4 playoff teams, but they might, like I said, they might favor the SEC and give them 4 more, which is just an unfortunate thing. Michigan, first year with Kyle Whittington there. Excited to see what they got. I think Wisconsin's going to be a lot better. Washington should be a really good team. They might jump Iowa. I just like Iowa's. Iowa's going to be very good defensively. A lot of talent in here. Northwestern's got some high expectations. I think right now, though, the Big Ten's got 5, maybe 6 teams that all could take it to the playoffs. It's going to be it's the top conference. They dominated in the bowl games. They dominated in the playoffs last year. So that's why they're my number 1 conference. All right. We got about 20 minutes here. We're going to see if we can speed run a mock draft here, guys. So we're going to go, this is going to go a little bit quicker. We're going to do, what we're going to do, I think we're going the number 1 pick approach. And I'm going to show you how you do the 2 running back strategy. It works best if you can get one of the elite running back talents or running back talents in the said mock. So we'll go standard PPR and everything, just to keep it simple, but not get too complicated in this. Gonna start the draft. Let me screen share this here. Put it up on here. So we're going, all right. the strategy here when you're drafting in the top rounds, if you can get one of the elite running back talents, I'm talking Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, let's see who else it is. We've got Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Christian McCaffrey. One of those guys, Saquon, or it's like maybe Saquon, Derrick Henry. That's who you're taking in the first round. You go back to back on running back talent, and then you take high upside wide receivers because there's a significant drop off on running back talent, whereas receivers got more depth and it's something you can take more. So you're looking for, first, we're going to go Jahmyr Gibbs. We're just go 101. That's who we're going to take here. And then let's see why. Why is it not, there we go. Wow, that was laggy. Okay, now we're going to skip to where we're at. We're going to look at who's available again at running back. Okay, we've got Josh Jacobs is dealing with some legal stuff, so I'm not super jazzed on him. I might take him. I don't know how healthy he's going to be. Javonte, not a lot of competition there, so I'm actually going to go with Javonte because he's just doesn't have a lot of competition. He's going to get those goal line touches. So there you go. You've got two really good running backs now. Now we're going to go and look at wide receiver upside. So it's a little laggy here. Or it's taking its time. Let's go. Advance us to the next pick. Let's advance us to the next pick. Come on, site. What's the hold up here? All right, I apologize. This is I'm not sure how do I force this to go forward. Hello.
What do you need, bro?
Oh, that's right. I'm back to back. I'm actually just I'm losing my mind. Sorry about that, everybody. Oh boy. It's technically my Monday. I go to work this. So it's a little risky to take a guy with the same bye week, but I really don't let bye weeks cause fear in you. We'll go ahead and take George Pickens. I mean, we saw the production last year. You just can't argue with that. All right, now we're looking at some wide receiver talent as we get our back-to-backs here. Devontae is risky to me. He really lived off of touchdowns. Didn't have a ton of yards. So that's not necessarily something that I feel like can transition. I love Watson's just a ton of upside. I know he has a bit of an injury problem. However, he is he's the guy, like he's really all they got. He's going to be one of the primary targets there. Romeo Dobbs is gone. Jaden Reed is going to be probably more into the slot. Dontavian Wicks is out of there. Matthew Golden hasn't shown a whole lot. So Watson's going to get a ton of targets. There's just a lot of targets have left the team, and those are his to take. So we're going to go ahead and take Watson here. Now we're going to go and look at quarterbacks that a proven commodity quarterback that is going to score us a lot of points. I like a guy that's got rushing upside. I'm going to take Drake May here. He's got new weapons. He's got Dobbs. He's got A.J. Brown. He has rushing upside. The schedule's a little tougher, but they made some improvements on the line. The team's good. He's a guy that could easily go for 4,000 yards. Bam. There we are. Now as we come in here into the 6th round, we can go and look for a flex. And here's where I'm going to go and take my 3rd running back. And I love Bashal Tutin, man. He's probably going to be splitting carries with Chris Rodriguez to start the year. But Rodriguez is not super explosive, doesn't have a ton of pass catching upside. We saw Tutin be a great pass catcher. He was just behind Travis Etienne for a lot of the year. Now, he's gone. Liam Cohen made Travis Etienne, Bucky Irvin like top fantasy players in back-to-back seasons. So there we go. We're going to grab him, get our flex. Now we can potentially take a tight end here. Couple of solid options. Let's also see what we got at wide receiver here. Maybe just to fill out depth. We do need... Here we go. I'm going to go with Sam Laporta. I like Sam Laporta there a little bit more than what we've got at the wide receiver options. I think there's still some guys that we can get late on. So now here's where we're going. We're going to start filling in depth at the wide receiver position. Chris Godwin, I don't hate health concerns, but if he can stay on the field, he's very good. However, I am going to lean towards Alec Pierce. He's the number one guy here. I mean, he's going to be the deep ball threat. He's a big body that they can throw to in the red zone. They did bring in Keenan Allen, but they gave him all that money. Pierce is going to be heavily involved in this offense. So we're going to go ahead and take him. Now we're going to look at the what else we got here. We could potentially go another wide receiver. We could take Godwin. I do like just going and getting one more running back, because as you can see, it starts to drop off here. I don't like any of these guys. I don't like these guys a ton. Let's see who else is available on this side. Yeah, we already got two, and we don't need Rodriguez. I expect to see him sort of lose out on carries. You don't necessarily need to draft players that have to play right away. I'm looking at right here, maybe a draft and stash, because we have three really prolific fantasy running backs that we're probably not going to be switching them out on the early part of the season. Jonah Coleman, J.K. Dobbins has an injury history. R.J. Harvey doesn't provide a lot of value running in between the tackles. It's kind of been a struggle for him. Draft and stash type of guy. I expect Jonah Coleman to be worked into the Broncos offense at a heavier and heavier rate. All right. Now, again, we're looking to just probably add some depth here. Defense, what round are we in? This is round 10. It's a little too early to take a defense for my liking. Probably not going to jump on a backup quarterback just yet. I've got some good options that I think we can wait on here. Looking at some wide receiver options. I know he's on the bad offense, but I love Casey Concepcion. Getting him in the 10th round here, there's no, he's going to be the number one guy. He's going to get so many targets. The quarterback situation is terrible, but as for a 10th round price tag and the amount of volume that he's going to see, I got to take him. I have to. Now we're looking at some more running backs here. You can see Rodriguez, Tracy, still up here because I don't see them getting a ton of touches here. Another guy, he's injured. He's going to miss some time, but he's a proven commodity. He's going to be involved in the offense. He's a great pass catcher. Could go Alvin Kamara here. Looking at some other wide receiver options. Wouldn't hate taking Golding. I'm excited about Stribling, but I don't want to bank too much money on wide receivers. We're going to go ahead and we're going to stash Kamara as well. So we're going to take with this team at this spot. All right, we're into round 12. Now, I think if you want, you could go for the streaming a defense strategy, which is something I might take. Or if you want a defense that you can rely on for most of the season, we got a couple of good options here. We got the Broncos, we got the Seahawks, Eagles wouldn't be terrible. We'll go ahead, we'll get the Broncos. Then, I'm the type of guy, I like to have a good backup quarterback. Kyler Murray, potential league winner here. Best situation of his career. Kevin O'Connell gets tons of value out of him. I mean, this is a steal to get him here. I think Kyler Murray could have a rushing upside as well. We'll take Kyler Murray there. I believe this is our final 2 picks here. So we got available at the wide receiver position. Jerry Jeudy, probably not going to take that guy. I'm not going to lie. Trey Tucker, not a ton of competition in that wide receiver room, or in the Raiders wide receiver room here. I'm gonna go with him because again, I'm like in these late round picks, I'm just trying to think of a guy who is in a situation where he doesn't have a ton of competition or is just in a really good offense. Tucker, not a ton of. I mean, like there's Brock Bowers. There isn't a whole lot else on the outside in terms of besides like a Jack Bash and other young guys there. All right, and then kicker, got to get one. I mean, Cam Little's just got an absolute nuke of a leg, so that's a good one to take there. All right, so that kind of rounds off our quick fantasy draft. That's the 2 running back strategy. You're looking for upside out of your receivers, proven commodities for your running backs. Gibbs, we know, is going to be sick. I mean, if you want to go Bijan, you can go Bijan. Don't have any problem with that. Javonte, not a lot of competition in that Dallas backfield. Who's going to get the goal line touches? I mean, like, that was where he put up a good amount of yards, but he was like just you got inside the 5, they fed Javonte Williams. I don't see any reason why that doesn't continue. We know Pickens, he feasted last year. It should be more of the same. That Dallas offense is going to be great. Yeah. Watson's going to get tons of targets. Pierce is going to get tons of target. Sam Laporte isn't one of the best offenses in football. This is one of the best defenses in football. Cam Little, one of the biggest legs, super accurate. With a team that's got a good offense, so they will, at the very least, be kicking a lot of extra points, being in field goal range more often. Now, Tootin, the pass catching upside for him is huge. Jonah Coleman, bit of a draft and stash player. Again, the volume with Concepcion, just something we want to take there. Kyler Murray is in a fantastic situation. So when Drake doesn't have a favorable matchup playing against a tougher defense, we can slide Kyler in. Trey Tucker doesn't have a ton of competition for targets. Kamara, bit of a crowded backfield, but he's a proven commodity, so we don't mind that. Then you can see this is how the drafts will be kind of similar to going. I don't know if JSN will drop back that far. I think you're going to see Bijan Jameer should go off the board first. And then in the round 1, it should go some combination of Jamar Puka and Jahmyr Gibbs, then Christian McCaffrey, maybe Taylor or Amon-Ra St. Brown. It should be James Cook. I don't love in the first round. Then it should probably be like CD, Henry. I mean, Gentry will probably go in the first round still, but I am not a huge fan of that, if we're being honest. All right. Well, we got a little bit of time, so you know what? We'll try like 2 really quick runs on AD2 and now.
Or we can ask questions.
Yeah, we can ask questions. What questions did you want to ask?
Okay. The Broncos' first home game. What do you think? Is it a win or is it a loss?
Who is their first home game?
Because there was a report on Fox 31 that made it sound like basically that Bo was a toothpick, and then everybody on like the comments, they're like, "Oh, we was there." The news is making a big deal out of anything. Do you think the ankle injury is going to bite us in the ass this year?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Honestly. I think we should
because he had 3 surgeries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like some of those were just like cleanups, and they were checking on it. I think like Denver, we're especially at this point, the Nuggets and Avs aren't playing, and we're just kind of waiting for the Broncos to start playing because the Rockies are hot ass. So when you come to Denver sports talk, it's all just about building up hype and drama for the Broncos.
Okay.
I don't think I'm not too concerned about the ankle. I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
What other question do you have?
The other question is right now in the preseason, what are you seeing that catches your eye like off guard?
Catches my eye?
That catches your eye. Like
Well-
you're watching the games and stuff, and you're like, oh shit. Kind of like Case Keenum. You're like, holy crap, who's this guy?
Well, I know who Case Keenum is.
Well, I know, but
Well, I also DeJon Stribling, he really surprised me. That was probably my biggest surprise. Kyle
Okay.
Shanahan's been known for kind of reaching on players. Not Kyle Shanahan, but John Lynch also has been known for sort of reaching on players. And this is what I thought he was going to be another reach, but he's looked really good. I mean, he's been good in camp, and I think he'll really have a big role on this team because you've got an aging Mike Evans and Debo Samuel. Ricky Pearsall just can't stay healthy, so there's a lot of opportunity for him to get in there.
okay.
Other things that caught my eye. I'm gonna have to grab his name real quick, but there was a guy on the Bears who's been just struggling to make the team and get some playing time, but he really showed out in the postseason. Jameer Chroma had 2 sacks, 3 TFLs, 6 total tackles, recovered a fumble as well. I believe he didn't get credit for it, but he also forced the fumble and recovered it. So, guy that could work his way into the Chicago pass rush rotation.
Okay.
Like I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, Ty Simpson, I was impressed with how well he played. I guess somebody else I didn't give a shout out to was Damon Claiborne, another rookie running back. I thought didn't get a lot of good blocking, but I think he's got a potential to. Like if the Vikings had more of their starters out there, I think he would have looked better because when they had Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason out there, and more of the starting offensive unit, there were big holes opening up. But the second unit just didn't look great for Claiborne.
Well, before we leave, ladies and gentlemen, we want to shout out some people that have given us gifts. We got Mary Ann, we've got Cassidy, we've got Penelope, we've got Crayon, and last but not least, we've got H Train. So, thank you so much. All right, you take it, H.
All right, thank you everyone for watching another episode of the Final Timeout. Be back next week, and I'm going to build a tier list of the best player to draft in each round and the worst player. Give you a little strategy when you're going into your draft. So stay tuned for that. I'll see you next week on the Final Timeout.
Hi, I'm Beaker with Military Broadcast Radio TV. We're your virtual MWR, bringing veterans radio, podcasts, gaming, animation, 3D printing, and a community that never leaves you behind. Download our Roku or mobile app today.
Wisdom to share if you listen this week, so pull up a chair and stay for a spell. We're heading down a trail where good stories dwell. It started